Hello there people, I hope everything is good and thanks for watching the video. In this one it's a clip from the Whatever podcast. It's quite a viral one that you may have seen. It's on a channel called Chief DeLorean, but I'm sure it's just a re-upload. It was originally from the Whatever podcast. And this is for me a good example of a young brainwashed woman who has been deceived by feminism and the feminist movement to basically be programmed to hate men at all costs. And you can tell that genuinely she doesn't mean what she says, that she's just like got the sheep mentality of where she's just picked up on what everybody else is saying, like her friends or the general feminist movement, and she's going along with it and running with it, and just you can see deep down that she doesn't even mean what she says. She's just programmed. It's sad, and this is what's happening to a lot of young women. So, and what else I've noticed as a trend, the sign of a feminist in my opinion, is this nose ring. This, is it the septum? Why? No man in their right mind finds that attractive. I have got a lot of guy friends, and I've been around a lot of guy circles, and I've had a lot of talks about women and how they're hot, and I've never ever once heard a guy say, "Oh, that septum piercing is just so hot." It puts guys off. Just like the big Botox lips and fake this, fake that, it's not what men are attracted to. And for me, this seems to be a thing that they do to repel men. It's like part of the feminist movement to repel men, like at all costs, and just to go along with the hating and the hatred of men. So let's just listen to the clip and you can just see what I mean by she doesn't really know what she's talking about, and I don't think she actually believes it or means it, but she's lost in the cause. So let's watch the video.
Like, there's toxic masculinity, and I feel like that's usually when I look at a person, I'm like, okay, that, like, the masculinity is showing, That's why I'm like, in moderation.
Wait, so you're saying when masculinity is apparent or showing, that equals toxic masculinity?
No, it's just sometimes it's like a little excessive, and that's usually when I like notice it.
What is excessive masculinity?
Like, I need this like big old car. It's like, okay, you're compensating for something.
So at this point you could be like, right, okay, maybe it's just some guys giving a little bit of the cringe when they're too boastful, which is fine, I get that. But it's when it goes further and she brings out the great old feminist word misogyny or misogynistic. That is a classic feminist statement or word, and most of them don't even know what it means when they say it. So let's keep listening.
Compensating for what?
A lot of things, I can tell you that much.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. List it.
I mean, probably like their low self-esteem and maybe their tiny dicks. Can I say that?
Sure.
Okay.
Tiny dicks. So do women who want nice cars, do they have loose pussies?
No, they got taste.
Oh, so it's only bad if men have a desire for material goods?
No. These are all just like really misogynistic. I don't necessarily need a man to tell me. I also have females who can support me. I feel like women and men can both provide that.
Wait,
so
what is misogynistic about his statement here?
Well, I don't know why it has to be a man.
How do you define misogyny?
I don't know. I don't like this.
What?
See, for me there, that is when you can see she's just a lost soul who has been guided along a path, believing in a cause that is just insanity. And for me, it ends up driving them insane. And I think that is genuinely why we see a lot of insane women, because this cause has caught traction, this insane ideology that feminism and feminists are the greatest thing ever, and they must oppose men and combat men and hate men, and men are the enemy. And young women are being taught this, but it's not in their actual nature to be that hateful towards men. So when push comes to shove and you put them on the spot about it, they can't even tell you what they mean. Like, he's asking her, what is misogyny? It really is just, it means an extreme dislike or contempt for women. But she doesn't even know what that means. So that's a simple thing to know. And if you're throwing that word out there and you don't know what it means, it kind of shows that you're programmed and you're spouting out things that you don't even know what they mean. And you can see as the clip ends that she's just so confused. Confused and mentally ill, in my opinion. But this is what I'm saying. This movement and this insane ideology is destroying so many young women. It's sad.
I'm just asking how you define misogyny.
She's crying. You see, it's like she's a confused young woman who's been brainwashed, but she knows it's not how she really feels deep down. And I think she knows that she's a confused, lost soul, and it's showing. And she just doesn't know what to say. She's when you put them on the spot, it's it's like they're like I says, that's when the brainwashing shows. Because if you're sitting with such passion and hatred and you can't even explain why, or you're throwing words out that you don't even know the meaning of, that's generally a big indicator of somebody that's brainwashed. And she'll look young. She looks maybe between 18 and 21, I don't know. But it's sad.
Can I go?
Are you okay? Like, do you want to go as in leave? Is it because I asked how you define misogyny?
Yeah, so that for me I thought was a good example of just how young women are brainwashed to hate men, but they actually don't really mean it. It's just that they feel like they've got to go along with this cause because other women are doing it, and then it's like a domino effect of loads of young women being indoctrinated into this insane movement to basically hate men, when that is not how women are designed to be. Women are designed to be feminine and embrace men and love everything about men. And when you take that away, that destroys everything between men and women. You don't see a movement with men where they just utterly hate women. Now, you can definitely say the red pill culture, but that's more came about because of women hating men, using them and abusing them. And I'm sure people will disagree, and that's fine, but that's my opinion. And at the end of the day, the feminist movement is a very, very powerful movement, and it's spread like wildfire around the world. And for me, it's evident in this day and age that so many young women are just following it blindly. So let's see. She's used to throwing out buzzwords, see, and everyone cheering for her. This is what I'm saying. It's insane. This is the first time she had to actually think about what she said, and you can see it. This is not normal behaviour. Asking her to define a word she uses every day shouldn't trigger her into tears. But this is what I'm saying. I think this is why young women are getting mentally ill as well, and struggling to find men and acting the right way, because primarily women want men, but they're being thrown into this or drawn into this movement to hate men. So primarily they want men, but their main cause is to hate men and oppose men and combat men. But that's not how women are designed. So they're in a cause that's constantly going against their actual primal nature. So obviously it's going to mess with your head. And then this comment, I love the immediate shift from the I'm sure I'm right to hiccup, crying, and inability to speak. Such a strong independent woman. And that's just the reality. She's crying because she realises she doesn't know anything. That's what I'm saying. So everybody's kind of agreeing. Define a word you keep using. This is unfair. So this is the sad reality of what feminism does and the feminist movement. And honestly, It is the biggest scam ever to destroy families. For me, I'm not 100%, but I'm sure that it's basically maybe started with good intentions, but I think somewhere along the way, maybe even originally, it started out with ill intentions, but I think it could have had good things. It's just women maybe want a little bit more of this and a bit more of that. That's fine. Maybe they feel too oppressed. Okay. But at this point, it's where women just completely hate men for what? For what? We're living in the most civilized times we've ever pretty much lived in. Okay, it's not perfect, but what is there to hate? Women have got more rights than they've ever had. They can vote, they can work anywhere men work, even though they choose not to. And it's like, it's never been realistically a more level playing field for women, so why are they still hating men? It's just a backward ideology that has been poisoning women's minds. Young women are getting poisoned by this and brainwashed. And I think you can visibly see it in that video, and everybody, is kind of agreeing it. She's crying because she doesn't know why she believes the things she's saying. She's just regurgitating things she's heard, and this is a problem. So that, I think, really captures the insanity and the sadness at the same time of the feminist movement, that somewhere along the way, some bitter, twisted woman has probably created this, and somehow, some way, it spread like wildfire and became an actual cult, like a worldwide cult, to hate men. And as times went on, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And young women are getting sort of everybody wants to be part of something, and I feel like maybe the feminist movement makes them feel like they've got a cause and a purpose in life, but they get led down a path that's just diverting them into a car crash of a life, mentally and every other aspect. So, like I said, feminism and the feminist movement needs to be exposed and stopped, because all it's doing is turning women against men, and turning men against women, because men feel like women hate them, and they're taught that men are just worthless and just do what you want with them, basically. Have no respect for them and just treat them like crap. That is not how life thrives. That's not how humanity thrives. And until young women start to see this, like I've said before, I've started to see videos where women are clicking on, and younger women as well. And the other problem is, you get older women who are bitter, and their life's not going to go anywhere. They've lost their youth, they've lost their hope, so they just perpetuate this and tell young women all lies, so that they ruin their lives as well, because they don't want young women to be successful. There's a whole toxic, horrible culture with feminism, and it really needs to stop. And I would agree that the red pill culture, although I do believe it's got more substance and more constructiveness to it, because it's really a reaction to the feminist movement, I do feel like that's starting to get really toxic now as well, to where men are starting to hate women. So it's just like a vicious cycle that's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And as it goes on, it just seems like men and women oppose and hate each other more. So until we can realistically get women to start respecting men and falling back into their feminine, like their femininity, obviously the difference between feminist, feminism, or femininity. Femininity is what a woman is naturally meant to be. Feminism is the ideology to hate men, and it's horrific. So unless we get women back into the mindset of being feminine and appreciating and respecting men, the family life, marriage, everything is just going to get worse and worse. The population is going to decline, and even if it doesn't decline, we're going to see so many broken homes, so many single mothers, which you're already seeing, and it's become the norm because it's encouraged. It's like, just leave the guy, don't try and work it out, just leave him. for any reason. And then women have got these feminist groups and circles that if a woman will go to their friends, their so-called friends for advice, their friends just give them terrible advice because their life's a mess. So it's a cycle of like literally the blind leading the blind. And I could go on and on and on, but I'm going to end the video there. Like I said, I felt like that video kind of captured the brainwashing and the sadness that turns into insanity, and it's pushing women against their true nature. And this is why we're seeing so many mentally ill women. It's sad. So I really do hope that this stops. And like I said, I'm going to try and maybe find a video or do a video on women waking up to that feminism is a scam, because that's all it is. It's an utter scam to destroy literally people's lives, families. You know, if I believe that if feminism never came around, and nothing of that like came around, I believe that in this day and age we would still have a lot more tradition in our relationships, dating and marriage would still have more credibility and be more respected and more sustainable, and people would work at it more. But there's this era of hatred. There's nothing can thrive in hatred. So I'm going to end the video there. Until the next time, I will see you soon.